Hi, my most beautiful party people, my most beautiful sunshines, my most beautiful sunflowers. Let's get that first out of the way. I fucking love you, okay? I mean, depends on who you are, but. So I'm Sandra from the house, and I am your neurodivergent spokesperson. I'm your oracle, voice of God. I'm your joy reminder. I talk about the beauty of life. I offer new perspectives. In any case, I'm here to talk about the beauty of life. And it's what we need in this world right now. It's just honestly also just where I'm at in my life. Like I can just see the beauty of life nowadays. Completely forgot what I was saying earlier, but that is what you will encounter on this channel. I will go on tangents. I will speak about things and then not continue speaking about them, and then I will also share very useless information with you. If you're up for that, please subscribe. What came to me earlier was that I wanted to talk about the beauty of being behind in life. Okay, let's put it into brackets, I think is the word. Being behind in life. What does that even mean? If you're anything like me, then you have felt behind in life for most of your life. If you're anything like me, then you're also neurodivergent, and that probably very much happened to you because I can hardly imagine that a neurodivergent person out there just goes around life, walks around life, experiences life, uh, and was just fully on par, was just fully in alignment with what society told that person you what to do, how to be, and you probably were like, what the fuck, none of this makes sense, this is all crazy bullshit, what are we doing, and how the fuck do I fit into these nicely curated, um don't know the word, the English word for it, um shapes, the way that I'm supposed to be as a human being according to society. And you probably just probably what you did most in life was wondering about what the fuck is this all about and what is this bullshit. Like spending a lot of time in your so beautiful mind, but which was never recognized by other people that it actually was a beautiful mind, but you were shamed for being slow, you were shamed for being lazy, you were shamed for being not focused, all of these beautiful things, right? So you probably just spend a lot of time fixing yourself, I mean, trying to fix yourself. You probably spend a lot of time just trying to figure out what was wrong with you, trying to figure out how to fit into this path that was laid out for you. And you probably very much failed at fitting in there. Um, and I know how fucked up it is. I know how hard it is to live like life like this because you just feel so isolated. You feel so ashamed. You feel desperate, confused, lost, stuck. All of that at the same time. Overwhelmed, very much overwhelmed. And you feel so much. You feel so much, and there's so much chaos. And no one listens to you. No one actually can understand you. Probably people didn't even try all that much to understand you because they just labeled you as the weird one, the crazy one, the outsider. Probably there weren't really a lot of people who tried to understand you. But if there were, then they probably just couldn't understand you, even if they tried. And so you probably had an experience of life that was hard, that was painful, that felt very isolating, and I know what that's like. And what comes with all of that if you struggle, if you juggle, that's what the word that I wanted to say. If you had to juggle all of these things at the same time, all of the things that I just mentioned, all of these hard, overwhelming energies, then you had no time to be on time. You had no time to do the things that you once said yourself, told yourself you would do. If you had dreams when you were a child, and I'm saying if, because it's so interesting to me, because I personally, I couldn't remember my dreams. I couldn't remember the dreams I had when I was young because I was so traumatized based on the way I was growing up, what I experienced, and I there was just so much that I had completely shut off from me. I had so much fragments floating around in the ethers that I hadn't integrated, and so much memory loss, all caused through various traumas. And I couldn't even remember who the fuck I was for such a long time. And I didn't know what my dreams were when I was young. And that is such a horrible feeling that just comes on top of everything because you're just wondering, what the fuck, why am I even here? Why am I even alive? Like, what's the fucking point in all of this? Because all you experience is suffering and struggle. And when you don't have anything to work towards, when you don't have anything to look forward to, and you have no support in all of that, well, that's a fucking hard experience of life. And just checked if the microphone was on. Um, and so, if you remember your dreams, if you're lucky enough to remember the dreams that you once had, this happens a lot. Um, if you're lucky enough to remember the dreams you once had, it was probably very, very hard for you to stay focused on pursuing that dream, and you probably were not very successful at doing so, or at least not perceived the perceived success of that, right? Like, even if you accomplished, you probably still accomplished a lot of things, because I know how ambitious and smart and strong neurodivergent people really are, how resilient. And black sheep, right? The black sheep, um, the scapegoats. Like, you're so fucking strong. And so you probably still accomplished a lot in life without even realizing that you were doing that, because you were so in your mind all the time. You didn't have time to enjoy life. You just simply had no capacity. You had no space. Your whole field of energy, your whole conditioning, your mind was uh imprisoned by this conditioning that was trickling down on you and like coming, enclosing your space, because you were so uh there were so many things that you could sense, but you couldn't process. There was so much going on, and you couldn't keep up with it all because there was so much going on. And you, as a neurodivergent, you question things. You don't just accept, like, people tell you, oh, this is what you're supposed to do. And by the way, I wear the same shirt every day because it's my sleeping shirt. Okay, I always record in the evening right before bed. So these are my these are my PJs. Don't come for me anyway. um so you probably just had to go through so much mental load, and that also involves obviously emotional suppression of many different emotions, because you're just so fucking overwhelmed because there's so much going on, because you're a master at deciphering reality, right? You're a master at questioning things. You're mastering you're a master at analyzing stuff, um and so there was so much to look at, there was so much to decipher, there was so much to analyze, and there was so much to actually feel, but you didn't have the time, the space for it. And so how in the world could you go after your dreams or your supposed dreams, or um yeah, how could you actually end up doing the things that you really wanted to do when you're busy trying to process all of this stuff that seems so fake and unreal and wrong? And so you probably felt like you were behind life a lot. And that is, again, like such a horrible feeling, because you just see everyone else, you observe everyone else, and everyone else just seems to be so on time. Everyone else just seems to progress, and you just seem to sit there and not get anywhere. Okay, so let me tell you this, because we talk about the beauty of life, and we talk about the beauty of certain things, and we look at things from a different perspective, right? So what if there's so much beauty in being behind, which that's a lie, even if it has felt like this to you, which is a very real feeling, of course, but it was just a sensation. It wasn't the truth, because the truth is that change always happens. You always evolve every fucking day, every second, every moment. You evolve because you are part of the universe, you're part of God, you're part of the divine, and you are connected to the ever expanding consciousness. So you always change, you're always a different person from one moment to the other. You always progress, you always evolve, you always expand. So how could you be stuck? How could you have not achieved anything all this time? How could you have not come anywhere? It's not true. This whole time you were indeed evolving. You indeed experienced so many things, even if they felt like a loop, even if it felt like you didn't move ahead. You did. You fucking did. It's just that your perspective was on all these things that you didn't achieve, all the things that you didn't do, that you couldn't do, that made you different, all the things that categorized you as someone that would be behind in life because you hadn't achieved ABC that everyone else was achieving. What even does achieving mean, right? Like, it's just you just living your life, and you just go about your life, and then things happen. And maybe it's about time you change your perspective. Maybe it's about time to remember that you have indeed accomplished so much. It's just that whatever you have accomplished is different and was different from what other people have accomplished. But that doesn't make it wrong. That actually makes it even more amazing, because no one was guiding you, no one was telling you how to do it, no one was living it in front of you. You had no idols to look up to, you had nowhere to turn. You had to do it all by yourself, and still you fucking did it. Think about everything that you have accomplished. When was the last time you celebrated yourself for that? And that is something that I said in yesterday's video. I just want to celebrate myself so much more for all the things that I've accomplished, because I was that person who felt so stuck my whole life, and all of the achievements that I accomplished, I was just like, yeah, meh, there was nothing. And that's bullshit, because there's so much that I have done, accomplished, and I'm proud of myself for that. Finally, I can be. And just because it's not, and just because I'm not where other people would like me to see, just because in their minds, in their timeline, I'm behind. I'm not behind in my timeline. And who the fuck cares about other people's timelines? The only timeline that matters is yours. And the thing is, your timeline will always be your timeline. You cannot change your path. Your path will always be your path. And no one can walk your path for you. And your path is unique to you. So who's to say that you are behind? Who's to say that your path isn't right? That you are not on time, right on time, which is so complete nonsense because we're always right on time. Everyone is always right on time because there only is the now, and there's nowhere else to be other than where you're at. And another just cherry on top is that you're actually not behind, but you're ahead. And that's the beauty of being behind in life. It feels so important to me to do that because it's such bullshit. Um, sorry for my itchy nose. Um, the reason why you're ahead is because there's a reason why you're neurodivergent. There's a reason why your brain works differently, your processing works differently because you were perfectly designed to be alive at this time as we're moving through the ascension of the planet and the cosmos, as we're going through these times that we're currently enduring, living, enjoying, because everything is positive. I know it's not. It's not right. Like, I just want to make clear, like this shit, like my channel is not toxic positivity. Okay, like let me tell you, I know what it's like to go through the darkness. Um, but it is truly the only reason why I can now look at life in with a lens of beauty and love and excitement and joy because I've been through the darkness. And darkness is not a negative thing. I've been I faced my shadows, okay? But to have a nervous system that is like yours in the times we're living in right now, I know it's really fucking hard. I mean, trust me, I know. To be this sensitive and to absorb, to feel and to observe all the bullshit that's going on. But at the same time, it's a superpower. And you just have to truly embody that. Because once you do, that's when life changes for you. That was a rhyme because I'm a poet. I like to mention that. I will mention that a lot. Um, so the reason why you're actually ahead is because you were perfectly designed to be a leader, to be the first, not the first, one of the people who will lead, who will guide into the new earth, if you want to call it that, into a new into a new time on earth. And as we can see, shit's falling apart, shit's crumbling. And why is this happening right now? Because the old is being destroyed, so there's room and space for the new. And guess who is perfectly aligned and perfectly designed? Did I just say that? Who's perfectly in alignment with the new earth. You are made to experience what's about to come in the most aligned, beautiful, free, abundant, loving way. You are meant to experience life in its full beauty. And that will be possible, and that is possible because of the way you are. And even if you're not neurodivergent, okay, I was just speaking to the neurodivergents, but if you feel aligned with my channel, then you are one of the people who are perfectly designed to thrive in the times that are to come. And the reason why it was so hard in your previous life leading up to now is because we were going through the old system. We're going through the dismantling of the old system, old bullshit. And of course, that never felt aligned. Of course, that felt horrible. Of course, it felt confusing. Of course, it felt too much. Of course, it felt like we didn't belong because we didn't belong. Because that's not how our life is supposed to be, because our life is supposed to be abundant, free, joyful. And that's really the truth. And so, fuck what used to be, because the tables have turned. And now it's our time. Now it's our time to shine. Okay? So trust me when I say you've never been behind, you're always right on time, and you're about to experience the best time of your life. Okay? Okay. Thanks, fam, for tuning in. Thank you so much for sharing the space with me. And if you made it this far, let me know who you are. I'm rhyming. And I hope you're doing well. I hope everything is starting to just make sense for you again. Okay, I'll be back tomorrow and I'll talk about some beauty of life. Okay, I'm sending you so much love and I'll see you then. Hopefully. Okay, bye. I am on earth, but to me, heaven is on earth. But whatever. It's such a mindfuck to think, well, okay, if things are going downhill, apparently that's a bad thing. Okay.